all, it's me, CheesyPaninie, and welcome back to another episode of Cheesy's Pixel Notes, where I work on a pixel artwork and talk about my process, the challenges, and stuff I learned along the way. For today's artwork, I've been tasked by my client, Calorie Cavalier, to draw a character from the anime My Hero Academia. They wanted me to pick between Ochako or Frappy, two very lovable characters that have really cool character designs. To be honest, I had a really hard time picking between the two of them because they're both characters I really loved in the series, but I ended up choosing Ochako because I really loved her color scheme, which was pink, brown, and black, which leaned a little towards teal. My client wanted bright colors for this, and they also wanted Ochako to be drawn in both my Makopa and cheesy style. I collected some references of the character and made a pencil sketch for Ochako, which took around 46 minutes, including the revisions. Once my client was happy with the sketch, I started setting up my workspace in Aseprite, placed and resized my pencil sketch to fit the 64 by 64 square, which is the size of the portrait. For commissions in this size, I prefer to sketch with a chibi style or a style that has big shapes and not that much detail, so when I do them in pixel art, I won't have that much difficulty. I can always choose to add more detail later on once the main shapes are placed. A lot of people tend to draw their pixel art straight into the canvas without sketching, and I actually do this as well for sprites or super small pixel art. But since this artwork is a lot bigger than sprites, and because sometimes I have a hard time figuring out certain shapes, angles, and curves, I start them off with a pencil sketch. The shape and angle of this helmet would have totally taken me a lot longer to figure out had I drawn this straight to pixel art. So if you're like me and you're having a hard time figuring out how to draw a certain thing in pixel art, I highly recommend drawing it in a medium you're most comfortable in first, especially if you're just starting out. It can be by doing a pencil sketch like me, a digital drawing in another drawing software, and so on. You can even use references. There's no right or wrong way to do it. What matters is that you find a process that works for you. Now, before I add lines and details, I like to do the flats first. I don't actually know what the other people call them, but that's what I call the initial blocks of colors I place to make the shapes of my pixel art. The colors I use are mainly placeholders, and I actually just use the color picker on my references for them and change them later as I go. Since my client told me they like brighter colors, I made sure to increase the saturation of the main colors, which is brown and pink, and made the other colors less saturated in order to make the other colors pop out more. If everything in this portrait was brightly colored, it will just be blinding and you'll probably have a hard time figuring out what it is, especially in this type of pixel art style, which is mostly flat colors and very few lines. It's really important that when you draw in this style, you make sure that each color you use is different enough in saturation and brightness that when you place them together on screen, it won't look too similar to each other. And now, for the last bit of detail, I put the helmet's glass over her head and decreased the opacity of the fill color except for the white outline. Now, at this point, I was confident about it and proceeded to start adding more details and drawing it in the cheesy style. I realized that her hair looked nothing like the hair in the anime, so I started going back and forth my first portrait and my detailed portrait until I was finally happy with how it looked, which did take a while. When working with pixel art or any kind of art in general, this is unfortunately unavoidable. It doesn't matter if you're just starting out or been doing this for 10 years, unless you're just drawing one specific thing all the time with the same color, subject, and angle, you're going to encounter some problems drawing certain things. But instead of getting frustrated and beating yourself up about it, just think, if everything was easy, what's the point in learning something new? It won't be as satisfying to look back at your progress later down the line. I mean, isn't it great when you realize that days, weeks, months, or years of drawing something you had difficulty in was now something you don't even have to think about? That's an amazing feeling. There you have it, Ochako from My Hero Academia. It took around 4 hours to make, including the sketching phase, which I did over the course of 2 days. For your reference, here's today's notes once more. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and comment down below. I currently make videos on commissions that I take, so if you're interested in commissioning me for something, be sure to check out my website where I display when I'm available, as well as my terms of use and commission prices. But if you're not interested in that but want to support me in other ways, you can check out my Patreon, Ko-fi, and Redbubble. Or you can always share my videos around with people you think might be interested in this type of content. Anyways, that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed or learned something. But for now, I'm just gonna go do my thing and you guys do your thing, and I'll see you guys later. Take it easy, stay cheesy.